Earlier this month, Samsung announced the Galaxy Note 7, a follow up to the hugely successful Note 5 from last year. Yep, they're skipping a number to ensure the Note and S series have a similar numbering. The Note 5 is a solid device even by today's standards, so is it better to buy yourself a Note 5 today and save some money? Or if you already have a Note 5, is the Note 7 a phone you should upgrade to? Well, these are questions we're going to try to answer today. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4 eTech, and let's get started. Let's start with the build. If you just glance at Samsung's press releases or view product pictures on the internet, the build of both phones kind of comes across as similar. But when you actually pick the devices up and use them, especially side by side, you can see the refinements with the Note 7. Both phones sport a similar design language, both packs have fingerprint magnets, equally bad, but the Note 7 also sports a curved display, so it actually feels very sleek in hand despite being marginally thicker. Add to it the fact that the Note 7 is narrower than the Note 5 and even weighs in a few grams lighter. This gives the Note 7 an advantage ergonomically. Do note that Samsung's managed to do all this and at the same time retain the 5.7-inch display, pack in a 16% larger capacity battery, and now also add IP68 water resistance to the mix. That's brilliant. Talking about the display, both phones sport 5.7-inch Quad HD Super AMOLED displays, meaning they are equally sharp and have great contrast thanks to those deep AMOLED blacks. Now, I'm sure you're gonna read 100 articles saying the Note 7 has the best display, it's got higher brightness levels, but in reality, with day-to-day usage, even when you put these phones side by side, there's barely any noticeable difference. Now, I'm not disputing the fact that the Note 7's display is probably better. I'm just saying that there's not a lot between them. It's not gonna matter in day-to-day usage. The biggest difference, what is actually gonna matter, is the fact that the Note 7 has a curved display and it brings with it the edge screen functionality that the Note 5 lacks. Also remember, the display on the Note 7 is covered by the newer Gorilla Glass 5 compared to Gorilla Glass 4 on the Note 5. It's the same with the backs too. As far as the specs go, the Note 5 is powered by the Exynos 7420 chip, while the Note 7 sports the newer Exynos 8890 or Snapdragon 820, depending on where you're buying the Note 7. The Exynos 7420 is a brilliant chip, and if you look at the speed test between both the Exynos variants, the Note 5 comes really close. With day-to-day usage, you aren't going to be noticing a lot different. That said, the Note 7 does hold a noticeable advantage here. It has double the base storage, support for microSD, and some new hardware additions like the iris scanner, a USB Type-C port, a mobile DNIA controller for HDR video, and these are things the Note 5 lacks. And of course, battery life. The Note 5 offers great battery life, but the Note 7, in the few days I've spent with it, seems to last a little longer, about 10-15% longer. It's got a higher capacity battery inside, 3500 mAh compared to 3000 mAh on the Note 5. The Note 7 also has a S Pen that's water resistant and even manages to work underwater. The tip of this S Pen is more than 50% thinner. The buttons placed a little higher, and add to it the fact that it supports twice the level of pressure sensitivity, it just feels more natural and precise to use. Now with that, let's move on to the cameras. The Note 5 sports a 16 megapixel rear camera with an aperture of f1.9. This is a 16:9 sensor. The Note 7 on the other hand sports a 12 megapixel sensor with a f1.7 aperture. This is a 4:3 sensor, so you'll have to go down to 9 megapixels if you want to shoot widescreen. What Samsung's done by lowering the megapixel count is go with larger pixels. The sensor is also a tad bigger. This results in the Note 7 losing out on a bit of detail compared to the Note 5 under well-lit conditions, but faring much better under low light. The Note 7 also has support for manual video recording. The Note 5 definitely has the hardware chops to do it, but Samsung's track record shows that they have little to no interest in bringing new features to old phones. Case in point, the Galaxy Note 4 is still stuck on the older TouchWiz, while even low-end budget phones that were released just 6 months after the Note 4 launched with the new TouchWiz. Anyway, talking about TouchWiz, both phones run on Android 6 Marshmallow with Samsung's TouchWiz UI on top. The Note 7, like I said, has the newer TouchWiz that brings with it rounded icons, streamlined apps, a lighter color scheme. The S Pen gains some new functionality as well, like the ability to capture GIF, spinning notes to the always-on display, and oh yeah, the Note 7, just like the S7 and S7 Edge, has an always-on display. The button to the side triggers erase, and there are a lot more features that the S Pen brings with it, and here's a card to my video detailing the same. One of the features I listed in that video was actually already present on the Note 5, so that's my bad. Sorry about that. Anyway, the hardware on the Note 5, like I said, is very much capable of handling almost every one of these software features. But Samsung's track record indicates they might not be bringing these to last generation phones. So to sum it up, with the Note 7 you get better ergonomics, Gorilla Glass 5, an Edge display, microSD, support for HDR video, IP68 certification, an improved S Pen, better low-light imaging, manual video, an always-on display, and some extra software features, an iris scanner, and improved battery life. That seemed like a lot of things. But all things said, the most important thing that we look for when upgrading to a new phone is the processing power underneath. And here's where the Note 5 kind of makes a lot of sense, because it still packs a seriously good SoC underneath. That kind of makes all these improvements feel minor in the grander scheme of things. So yes, the Note 7 has an improved S Pen. That doesn't really make the S Pen on the Note 5 bad. Similarly, the low light performance on the Note 7 is great. That doesn't mean the Note 5 is bad on the low light either. So my 2 cents, if you already own a Note 5, the Note 7 is not a mandatory upgrade. The Note 5 is still a very good performer, and I'd suggest you hang on to it for at least another year. Now, that was an easy question to answer. The harder question is, should you buy a Note 7 today at $850 in the US or 60,000 rupees in India, or pick up a Note 5 that's about $350 cheaper or 15,000 rupees cheaper in India? Now, do remember that the base variant of the Note 7 comes with 64 gigs of onboard storage. That's twice as much as what's found on the Note 5. Add to it microSD, the Edge display, IP68 certification, and the iris scanner. The Note 7 is the way to go. In my honest opinion, it is worth the extra asking price. That's just how I see it. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments below. And if you do want to pick up either of these phones, I'll leave direct links in the description below. Use them if you want to help the channel out. And I guess that's it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, vote it down if you didn't. And for more videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech, signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.